Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome back to another Coaches Weekly for this season of men's soccer here at Concordia, Chicago. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network, and joining me once again is head coach of that men's soccer team, Brad Callahan. Coach Callahan, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
And your team is coming off of their season opener this past weekend, home opener against Carthage College this past Saturday, and your team fell 3-1, did have a lead in the first half, gave up 3 unanswered in the second half. But after seeing your team up against what strong competition in their first game this season, where are you looking to build the most coming off of that opening game?
Yeah, I think the areas we need to work the most would probably be defensive organization, and then making runs in behind. So making those penetrating runs, getting forward, expanding the field height-wise, and then if we lose the ball in transition, getting back on defense and staying very organized on defense.
Definitely, and you looked at that offense, you looked at that one goal scored in the first half, scored by a player who actually came off the bench on Saturday, Michael Sinise, one of those plentiful freshmen on this year's squad, but it was Garrett Pointer, one of your key returners from last year's team, who picked up the assists on that goal. How has the team progressed, having those older players and those new players starting to build chemistry?
Yeah, I think everybody's getting along really well in terms of like the chemistry and the culture on the team. And experience definitely helps, but I think, soccer is a language, and so you can, be very, very good at 18, you can be very good at 22. So I think, even when you're watching stuff like the Euros, you're seeing guys for Spain who are very young get minutes and things like that. So I think, we just want the guys who can contribute the most out there, and we're deep. Like I said last week, it's tough deciding who starts, who gets minutes. There's a lot of guys who can do that, and so I want to give different players different opportunities, and guys continue to prove themselves at practice. But that goal Michael Sinise had was nice. That was a run in behind that Garrett played him, a penetrating run. So I think that we need to get more of that stuff going forward.
Absolutely. And goal in the first game, you got it on a run in behind. Last year, one of the facets of the game that the team struggled on was quantity in offensive production. It was there, but a lot of the times it wouldn't be able to keep up with whatever team you guys were going up against. Do you think that early on in the season that's something you'll be able to get out of this team this year, is higher quantity of that offensive production in games?
I do, yeah. I think understanding when to make runs, where to make runs is going to be really important. Expanding the field height-wise, and I think we have a lot of attacking power going forward. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. We're going to practice. We have been practicing, and we'll continue to practice on.
Absolutely, and going forward, your team's back in action this Saturday with a road trip out to Joliet to take on the University of St. Francis, and those first game jitters are out of the way, and now you're going for your first road game of the season. What's kind of your focus for your squad coming into this weekend?
I think being very confident, knowing that if we execute properly, we can win the game. I saw Carthage, who we just played, beat St. Francis 3-0. So I definitely think in terms of looking at the scores and stuff, it's a game that's winnable, and I just think we can't take our foot off the gas pedal. I think we've got to come out hard, stay defensively organized, communicate a lot. Staying organized through the back four and through the midfield is going to be really important. And then just consistency. That's something I'm stressing to the guys, is being consistent, putting a full 90-minute game together. Soccer's a sport, where if you make one little mistake in the back, another team can punish you. So I think just being smart with our decision-making, understanding the risk versus reward ratio in different parts of the field, and executing and playing smart, and finding those runs up top, keeping the ball going forward, and put the whole game together like that.
Absolutely. And like we mentioned, Cougar Soccer back in action this Saturday out in Joliet, taking on the University of St. Francis. And make sure to follow all the action of that game live on CUCougars.com and get caught up on everything you've missed there as well. Once again, thank you, Coach Callahan,
thank you for having me,
coming on again this week. And I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network. Thank you for joining us, and make sure to join us next time for more Cougar Soccer Coaches Weekly.
good afternoon, and welcome to Concordia Stadium here on the campus of Concordia University, Chicago, as we get set for some NCAA Division III men's soccer action between your Concordia University Chicago Cougars and another Cougars, the Cougars of Kuyper College. Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, joined by Dave Dimling. And Dave, less than 2 minutes before we send it down to the field for starting lineups and national anthem, but let's get a little preview of these two teams. Let's start with the home Cougars. That's going to get confusing all day. Two Cougars on the field today. CUC Cougars coming in 0-2 on the year. This is year 2 under Coach Callahan, a basically brand new team for him and his coaching staff. 27 new recruits coming to CUC this year, mixed between freshmen and transfers. And unfortunately for CUC, it hasn't clicked so far, but their 2 losses so far have been very close losses. So there is reason for optimism for this new look CUC team.
Yeah, definitely. I think they kind of battled a couple different ways in their first 2 games. Obviously, you brought up they lost both of them, but against Carthage, the score box doesn't tell the whole story. They were down. They lost 3-1, but they went into the halftime up 1-0, then just kind of came out flat in the second half. And then St. Francis, similar story. They just kind of just couldn't get it going quite right, and then had to make a switch in the goal, and we might see something like that today too.
Yeah, that is an interesting note you bring up, Dave. Kyle Schultz, who was the primary starter going into this season, played the most minutes for CUC last season. He was pulled last game in favor of the freshman Nathan Goodil, a freshman out of Chicago, and it is Goodil getting the start today. So a new look in goal for CUC as Goodil gets his first start in goal in his collegiate career. And on the other side of the pitch, as we got to get going here for starting lineups, we'll talk about them more when we come back, but the Cougars facing a Kuyper College team who this is their quote-unquote first year together as a team. Kuyper College suspended all athletic programs in the 2014-2015 school year, and this is the first year that the men's soccer team will be back. So I'm sure we're going to have plenty to say about that when we get back, but we have to send it down to the pitch right now. We're going to have starting lineups and national anthems for everyone, and when we come back, we got some men's soccer action between the Cougars of Concordia, Chicago, and the Cougars of Kuyper College. We'll be back here in the Cougar Sports Network in just a minute. All the starting lineups have been read and the national anthem has been played, which means it's about time to get underway here at Concordia Stadium. But before that, let's read off the starting lineups for both squads for everybody watching at home. First, for the visiting Cougars out of Kuyper College, it is number 4, Malegna Musa, number 5, Christian Barty, number 8, Eduardo Terrazas, number 9, Blessing Tarpe, number 11, Johnson Bondo, number 13, Xavier Hernandez, number 15, Isaac Nekpu, number 23, Alex Owens, and number 24, Derek Montanez. And starting in goal for the visiting Cougars is number 1, Ian Clank. Head coach of Kuyper in his first season with the new team is Mike Colagno, and he is assisted by Chris Rainsma and Graham McGeehan. There we go. As for the home team, the CUC Cougars, their starting lineup is number 2, Julian Yanez, number 6, Jose Garcia, number 7, Garrett Pointer, number 8, Christian Ibarra, number 20, Vicente Romero, number 21, Bernardo Delgado, number 25, Ronaldo Joseph, number 28, Justin Ocampo, number 29, Omar Figueroa, and number 30, Alexander Lehovitz. Starting in goal for the Cougars, his first collegiate start, it is number 5, Nathan Goodil. Cougars assistant coach is Ellis Jones, and head coach of CUC in his second year at the helm is Brad Callahan. Kuyper will be moving left to right on your screen, wearing the all-black kits with white numbering. Clank in goal with the sky blue jersey, white accents. Meanwhile, Cougars, they're right to left on your screen to start, wearing their all-white home unis with maroon numbering, and the goalie Gudillo wearing the highlighter yellow jersey. As Kuyper, a quick entrance into the Cougars' end of the pitch. They do keep possession here as this ball put forward. It's off the foot of the attacker. Kuyper trying to remain control here, and this ball will be centered and go past everybody. First player in the vicinity is a white jersey trying to keep it in. Was Delgado, as he's able to dump it off, and that ball will be kicked out off a Kuyper player. That is Isaac Nekpu, as we will start with a deep throw in here for CUC. The throw-in takes a bounce off Ibarra. And the Cougars trying to push it forward. Garrett Pointer, he leaves it up ahead, and now here's a break for CUC. Ball way ahead, and look at that. Lightning speed from Johnson Bondo. That ball seemed destined for a good chance from Christian Ibarra, and Bondo coming out of seemingly nowhere, able to catch up and knock that ball out of bounds, give his defense a chance to reset here.
Yeah, that just seemed like a free opportunity for a shot, at least a shot, potentially a shot on goal, and then Bondo just comes out of absolutely nowhere, just takes it out of the play.
Referees rule the ball out of bounds. Last touch by a CUC Cougar, which means a Kuyper Cougar will throw it in. It will be Hernandez. Ball bounces around. Kicked it back. Here is Joseph as he'll send this one all the way back. Jose Garcia will send it back to his freshman in goal, Gudillo, who's got some pressure on him, so Gudillo's got to get rid of it quick. And now a tussle for the ball. Two players still fighting for it, one from each squad, as this ball will roll all the way down and out the back of the pitch. Last touch by a Kuyper Cougar, so CUC with a goal kick coming up for Gudillo. But Dave, I mentioned it briefly before we got ready for the starting lineups. Kuyper, their first year back as a program. The school suspended all athletic programs in the 2014-15 school year, as CUC might have a chance here, still maintaining control deep in Kuyper's end of the pitch, as the Kuyper Cougars able to clear this one out, and now they'll try to move it the other way. So you have two teams who different circumstances, but kind of the same position here of basically two new teams for each school. Kuyper, quote-unquote a new team their first year back as a program, and then Cougars, a quote-unquote new team in the fact that they have 27 new faces on this roster for Coach Callahan to play with. And if you look at the pitch now, I mean, this is almost an unrecognizable lineup to last year. You have some remaining players like Garrett Pointer, like Julian Yanez, but other than that, this is a lot of fresh blood for CUC. So two kind of new teams duking it out here is slated to be a good test for both coaches against, opponent who's kind of in the same boat as each other.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very interesting situation that both coaches are put in as far as not just how you look on game day, but the recruiting to get up to this point is obviously it's going to be difficult to recruit for Kuyper when you're coming from a program that just didn't even exist beforehand. But then on the other hand, it's obviously going to be difficult for the CUC Cougars after the kind of season and performances that they had on the field last year.
Yeah, CUC 0-16 last year, Coach Callahan's first year as head coach, and give credit where credit is due. Coach Callahan really, once that season ended, did nothing but recruit up until this point, and that's how he's able to bring in 17 new faces, 18 freshmen, and then 9 transfers on the CUC team. As both coaches, Callahan for CUC and then Calago for Kuyper, trying to figure out what they have personnel-wise. As CUC puts this one ahead, 2-pointer. Garrett Pointer looks like he's going to have a clean opportunity here. Puts something towards the goal, and Clink just gets a piece of it. Was not clean by any means of the imagination, as CUC will get a corner out of it. But that was good effort there from Garrett Pointer to win that foot race and just put something on net. Clink gets his first save of the day.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. There's already been a couple opportunities like that for CUC so far, but Kuyper's just strictly athleticism has kind of bailed them out overall as they've been able to just beat the offense for the CUC Cougars.
Corner got to the center. CUC not able to get a clean shot off of it as a couple of headers here from Kuyper. They're just trying to clear this ball out, having some difficulties doing so, as this ball will go out. Last touch by a white jersey, so Kuyper will get a throw in here. Kuyper, in the debut of this revamped program, lost their season opener this past Saturday at Earlham College, a 1-0 loss to the Quakers. Clank, 2 saves, gave up 1 goal, and then Ian Ramirez, the other goalie for Kuyper, got 45 minutes of action. He made 2 saves, no goals allowed. As Kuyper just never able to find that equalizing goal. They put up 13 shots, 6 of which found their way to goal, so it was not for a lack of effort from the Kuyper Cougars. Just could not beat Earlham and their defense as this ball put up ahead. Kuyper still looking for that first goal of the year. Ball towards the far sideline. There's Musa wrestling for it. And it's coming away with it is Yanez. He's going to send this one down. Stopped there by Alex Owens. Owens listed as 6'7" on the roster. One of 3 non-freshmen on this Kuyper team. Owens, a junior. Maurice Morrison, not in the starting lineup, a sophomore. And then there is a redshirt player on this roster as well. Everyone else is listed as a true freshman. As the CUC Cougars trying to find some space, going down, trying to get the ball is Musa, and he eventually comes away with it. Good effort there from number 4 in black as Cougars try to send this one ahead. Garrett Pointer, some fancy footwork to try and get some space, got a double team there, and the Cougars able to knock this one ahead. Ball up ahead and getting muscled down to the ground. No whistle there. That was Christian Barty for Kuyper, as he was going to work on Bernardo Delgado. Delgado not able to win that foot race as Delgado puts this one on net, tries to put it on net, I should say, misses wide left. Good opportunity there for Delgado. Just not able to get enough control of that ball off the left foot.
Yeah, it kind of just looked like 21 in white, just misplayed it just a little bit there.
Maybe too close to comfort for Delgado. As goal kick from Clank and a Kuyper Cougars. Eventually goes nowhere. CUC gets control right back. Ball up ahead. It was intended for Christian Ibarra. And right there was the 6'7" Alex Owens to work him off his position and grab the ball as Kuyper moves it the other way now. They find Nikpu. Nikpu has to work around Joseph. As Joseph gets tripped up, Nikpu still on his feet, still in control of the ball, and Lehovitz will knock that out of bounds and give his CUC defense a chance to set up here. Kuyper deep throwing coming up here on the Cougar side of the pitch. Thrown here from Kuyper towards the goal box. Knocked out by CUC. Kuyper in control of it again, though. Far sideline. That's Bondo trying to work around his defender, and it's knocked out. Last touch by Bondo. And CUC will start to head the other way now. It's Lehovitz with the throw-in. Lehovitz, it's throw-in. Knocked around by Bondo as Kuyper airball here towards Barty. Barty going to work on Delgado, sends it up ahead. There's Yanez to boot it back. Justin Ocampo got that moving the other way. Kuyper in control at mid-pitch as they move back in CUC territory. And there's Garrett Pointer, CUC. It's a 2-on-3. Pointer wrestling and loses it to Derek Montanez. As Pointer trying to get it back, he helps out his teammates. Here is Delgado. Delgado, some physical play there. He leaves it off for Ocampo, and Ocampo comes away with the steal. Ocampo, some fancy dribbling to get to some clear space. He leaves it off for his teammate on the far side, and a stop there. Nice defensive play by Bondo. As we've seen a couple great plays from Bondo to spoil good opportunities for CUC. Vicente Romero works it over to Ibarra, who now finds Ocampo. Ocampo trying to get around Bondo, and Bondo has just been everywhere so far defensively for Kuyper. Is that ball, and it gets up ahead. Loose ball here. Kuyper trying to get control of it, and good defense by Yanez to just get in the middle and draw a whistle. So CUC free kick coming up here. Good defensive play there by Julian Yanez. He's going to leave it off for Garcia now for the free kick. Garcia, good boot there, but it's off the head of a Kuyper player. Ball working to the near sideline, rolls out. Last touch by a Cougar. Barty, nearest Kuyper player in vicinity, as he will now hand it off to Hernandez for a throw-in. Hernandez checking around. Finds Terrazaz as that ball almost picked off by Pointer. Kuyper able to maintain possession. Kuyper now right in front of the on-pitch referee. Yanez trying to keep that ball up to get control, and here's Ocampo. Good deflect there from Nikpu. As this ball will, before it rolls out, whistle blown. There should be a free kick coming up here for Kuyper. I believe they'll have to move the ball back from where it stopped. As they will, it will be Barty for the free kick, and Barty trying to get away with some extra yardage there. Referee backs him up about 12 or 13 yards. Barty really trying to steal some good field position for CUC, unable to do so. Free kick here. Good air ball towards the center of the box. Still bouncing. Weak header there from Yanez, but it gets the job done as now this ball sent down. Pointer, he runs into Owens, and Owens, good move there to get around Pointer and grab possession for Kuyper. This ball put towards in front of everybody. Joseph just trying to box it out as it goes out, and it does, and it will be a goal kick coming up here for Goodile and CUC.
Yeah, you can definitely tell why Owens has got that captain strip around his bicep. Every time when they seem like they're in doubt, he's right there to make a play.
Lots of range for the 6'7" junior, as he's being matched up against Garrett Pointer, 6'2" senior for CUC. So one of the few instances where Pointer is vastly outsized in terms of height, as Owens is about additional 5 inches of height on Pointer. As that ball gets poked away, and to Pointer, he's got a 1-on-3 as he's going to try and leave it up ahead. It's a foot race to the ball. CUC gets control of it. Far sideline, working towards the corner. Owens is right there in defense. Lehovitz will put this one towards the box. The only one there is Bondo, as now he'll move it near sideline for Barty. As Barty boots it up ahead, there's Garcia. Garcia muscled off the ball by Nikpu. See if he can get his team. And here's a good chance, and offside is blown. Looked like a great chance for Tarpe, but the near side ref blowing the whistle, putting the flag up, ruled that one offside before he can get a shot off.
Yeah, you're not seeing a whole lot of complaining either from the black jerseys. You know that they messed up there.
Yeah, Tarpe just way too open for that play to be considered legal, as Kuyper gets control right back off the CUC free kick. And now we get a whistle here, as a Cougar, that is Christian Ibarra, one of those new faces for Coach Callahan, a freshman out of Aurora. So I'm holding his side of his head for a second. He got clipped there. That's what drew the whistle. As now CUC starts off at mid-pitch. Here's Yanez. Yanez to the far sideline. Nice move there by Lehovitz. Far sideline right at the end of Kuyper's bench are the Cougars. And now this ball booted down in front of CUC's bench. Lehovitz going to try and box it out, and he'll instead have to kick it backwards. Getting pressured from behind. Unlikely he would have been able to keep that Kuyper player from grabbing the ball. Throw in far sideline. Pop up there from Kuyper. Ball down. And that's number 9, Tarpe, who's right in the middle of everything for Kuyper, as CUC's defense swarms the ball, able to knock it the other way. Kuyper right there, however, with Bondo. Bondo will work it back to Hernandez. Hernandez now works it far near side for Barty, who will work it back across the pitch. There's Bondo. We've seen the speed Bondo has, as his kick is clipped by a Cougar, slows it down for a second. Kuyper still in control, as they'll put this one across the middle, and it'll just roll into the possession of CUC. Joseph handling it now. Joseph knocks it down. Hernandez over Hernandez, and Garrett Pointer, and whistle blows. It's the on-pitch ref, as I believe they're going to call a whistle on Owens there. So CUC free kick coming up. Pretty good position to maybe get something going here. Instead, Joseph will work it backwards. Here's Garcia. Garcia up ahead, and coming away with the takeaway momentarily was Barty, as here is Ibarra. Ibarra leaves it to the middle, and what looked like a good chance for Delgado, he was bumped from behind, as this ball up ahead. Kuyper, and now the offside flag goes up.
Yeah, you're kind of seeing a whole lot of physicality from Kuyper on both sides of the ball. Any chance they're near it or not, they're getting a little bumping, a little aggressiveness, and you got to make sure that the refs are keeping them in check overall, or else CUC will probably end up retaliating a little bit.
As here's Pointer. Pointer works it down, ball knocked out, and now another offsides call. This one on the Cougars of CUC. So both teams running into offsides here, and maybe you got to think that might be just a product of the chemistry, the timing of these two teams, as both rosters still kind of trying to learn each other. A lot of new faces on both rosters, all new faces for Kuyper. So players, that timing, all those little particulars, all that discipline stuff might not be there just quite yet.
Yeah, definitely. It can also be challenging to sync up when there's not all this time that you have before the season starts. As in Division III, you don't get to spend the entire summer together, whereas you could in D1, and that can make a huge impact overall.
Yeah, CUC arrived at campus about a week or so in advance to the rest of the student body, maybe a little over a week. So they did have some time, but like they've said, nothing compared to what those upper divisions of the NCAA afford. As Kuyper with Barty puts it ahead, and Garcia, the only Cougar in the vicinity. And this ball lands at the feet of Barty, who will dish it across the pitch. Pointer in pursuit, but Bondo able to get rid of it, and we'll give and go here. Here's Bondo again, runs into a Cougar of CUC, and the ball knocked out, last touch by a white jersey. Nice bicycle kick there from Kuyper to try and get it moved the other way. Instead, this ball will go out, last touch by Kuyper. So goal kick coming up for Goodile and the Cougars of Concordia. As for Kuyper, not a member of the NCAA. They fall into the NCCAA Division II, the National Christian College Athletic Association. As this ball up ahead, Pointer racing for it, and Klink making a nice play. He's still out of position. CUC, they get possession right back. Might be something here for Avila and the Cougars as he's still working with it. Kuyper wanting to say he was out. The refs swallowing their whistles. Now the on-pitch ref takes one off the back. And now a whistle blows. As Kuyper up in arms, they thought that number 23 in white, Xavier Avila, had dribbled out of bounds. As now Kuyper getting a explanation from the ref on the pitch. So you see, might have caught a break there and just unable to make anything happen with it. Garcia way in his own near side corner. Moves it up ahead to Joseph. Joseph will just boot this one down. And here comes Pointer. And whistles blow now. Offsides again. And still, as we approach the 24-minute mark to go in the first half, neither team able to find many clean breaks down the field, always running into that offsides whistle. And I think maybe what you can attribute to that, Dave, is that both these teams so far, as Cougars get a turnover there, they're really utilizing their athleticism more than anything right now. Obviously, there's still set plays going on. There's still organization to the play, but all these teams, and that's maybe to be expected out of young teams who are still learning how to play with each other. Is at this point we're just seeing players use their speed to try and catch a break, and players trying to leave that ball ahead for each other so they can just use their speed to get there. And that is going to lead to a lot of offsides naturally. So that might be some of the issue as well, as these two teams are still learning how to, have that chemistry and actually play good, organized soccer with each other. Right now they're trying to kind of jumpstart that process by just using their natural athletic abilities.
Yeah, Peter, it almost looks like some sort of like an all-star game where you're just kind of trying to display the talents you have rather than kind of going into your formations and kind of expecting certain ways with each pass and everything like that. They're kind of just running around almost.
And credit to both defenses, as now we have a Kuyper Cougar down holding his shin. That is Isaac Nekpu. As now he starts to work his way back up. You do have to credit both defenses. They are making it hard right now because these are athletic teams. That is the borderline as we get a stoppage in play. As now a Cougar sitting on the ground is Ronaldo Joseph, holding his right thigh, it looks like, as they are going to call the trainers over. But the bottom line is these are two new athletic teams playing with each other, and that goes for the defense as well. We're seeing players defensively just all over the field. I mean, I mentioned a couple times with Johnson Bondo using his speed to be everywhere. So it's not only that these two offenses are still learning to play with each other and play through the coach's system, is that these defenses are so quick, they're so athletic, they're just everywhere disrupting everything. It's making it hard for the offenses to really get something organized going.
Yeah, the offenses haven't capitalized on some of the opportunities that they've had overall when the defense is found out of position, whether it's the goalie kind of leaking out of the box or just getting a fast break going, and they just haven't taken advantage at all. But you have to imagine with plenty of time left in the match that they'll eventually have an opportunity and they'll execute properly.
As now Ronaldo Joseph gets back up on his feet, walking with the trainers on site towards the sideline. Walking under his own power, of course, a good sign. As CUC's defense works its way back out, Gudil, Lehovitz, and Yanez. Johnson, the other primary player in the back for CUC, so we'll have to see who they supplement him with as he continues to walk off the pitch. It will be a good free kick here for Kuyper. Ball is set at the 22-yard line on the football field. So we're looking at about a 32, 35-yard distance to the goal for Kuyper as they load their players up on the far side of the goal box. So we'll have to see what they decide to do here. 4 players back. Kuyper loading up defensively behind the free kick. It will come off the foot of Terrazas, as his kick is just going to go right to the goal and over the goal. Terrazas going right for the goal on that free kick. Misses it high. And because of it, it'll be a goal kick coming up here for Gudil and the Cougars.
Yeah, pretty aggressive attempt right there by number 8 in black. Just trying to make something happen on his own. Sometimes a little too aggressive right there, and that's going to kind of blow that opportunity.
And, you know, you wonder if maybe that was the plan all along. Kuyper offensively, in terms of setting their players up for the free kick, everyone was on the far side of the box, and then you had 4 defenders back behind the free kick. It's almost as if Kuyper was expecting to be back on the defensive end quickly, which they are right now. They're in possession, but they are back on their own side of the pitch. So maybe that was part of the plan, was that Terrazas was just going to knock it towards the goal. It was a fast-paced shot. It was a hard shot, just not accurate enough. And see what if that missed, at least they'd have their defense back, as well as a couple players to crash in front of the goal. As ball loose, and now a push here, no whistle, play on. Some physicality there between Derek Montanez as well as Christian Ibarra, and no whistle from any ref. As Kuyper gets it moving the other way. Ball up ahead. There's Bondo to stop it. And now a stoppage there from Ocampo, as this ball left ahead for Pointer off his foot, as CUC has to fight control back from the visiting Cougars. Kuyper, based in Grand Rapids, Michigan, so taking the afternoon trip down here to CUC. As this ball left towards the corner for Ocampo, he is going to reach it as he runs into Owens. Ocampo able to stay in control of it. Ocampo centers it past everyone as he's now on the ground. face down as he works his way back up, maybe just taking a second as they work this ball back to Klink and goal. Good handling there from Ocampo to get a good opportunity. Just, it looked more like a shot than a centering pass. Just a little too fast for any other Cougar, any other CUC player, I should say, to really get a boot on it towards the goal.
Yeah, it looked like he was just a little frustrated. That's why he was more so laying prone right there on the turf, and it seemed like some of his teammates were also a little frustrated with it. It looked a little too, not necessarily selfish, but a little too aggressive considering the advantage the white jerseys had in the box there.
Campo was under some heavy pressure, had to get around Owens to start, and then black jerseys were converging on his position. So maybe just a frantic move there as a good takeaway from Barty, as this ball will be put up towards the right of the goal as Gudila will watch it bounce out the back of the pitch, and he'll get set for a goal kick. Less than 19 to go here in the first half. We are cruising through this game so far. 0-0 game, so little stoppage other than for the Joseph injury. As you can see him sitting by himself on the trainer's table. Not currently being attended to, so it might be a good sign for CUC that he just needs a shake. Get a second to recollect himself. Meanwhile, CUC a ball down in the corner, and good defensive play there from Kuyper, as we'll have to see what they rule this, as it will be CUC ball. So a near side corner kick coming up from the Cougars. That was a close play between the CUC offensive player, who now has to go all the way back to the fence past the track to grab the ball. So we'll get a second here of stoppage. Clock is still running, but it was a close play between the two jerseys, and the referee's ruling it was off a black jersey's foot, as this centering kick will be headed towards the goal and into the back of the goal. Spencer Nicholson scored a goal last game. He grabs one this game as CUC a 1-0 lead here in the first half. Dave, that is about as beautiful a corner kick as you can get. Perfect ball, and Spencer Nicholson just had to get up and head that one into the back corner of the goal. CUC up 1-0, 17:45 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like only a matter of time after all those chances they were getting inside the box there. Just a lot of opportunities on that side of the pitch. It felt like it just was a matter of time.
And we're starting to see CUC speed being used to their advantage, as they kind of got over the hump of all of those offside calls, and now they're just doing a good job of getting that ball in the corner and making something happen. We saw it there. It led to the corner kick. We saw a chance a couple minutes before that. That led to a close shot. That was just a bad angle for CUC. So they're getting this ball in the corner and using their speed to get there in time. And that one results in a corner kick, which leads to a Spencer Nicholson goal, his second in as many games now. Scored CUC's lone goal against St. Francis, as this ball up ahead towards Pointer. Pointer, no offsides whistle, so it is clean. He's got two jerseys to work around as he patiently waits. He tries to split the defense, and he just gets pushed off the ball there by Barty. That might be one of those circumstances, Dave. You might need to move the ball, as we can talk about that here in a second. CUC, they center it, and Owens there to knock it out, and it will be a corner kick for CUC again, as we see some frustrations boil over with Xavier Hernandez giving a mouthful to Christian Barty, his own teammate. Garrett Pointer trying to split the defense there and just kind of ran into a three-man trap. All works out in the end as a corner kick here for CUC. It is knocked away by Hernandez, as Hernandez up ahead to Terrazas. He's got a white jersey behind him, one in front of him, and he eventually turns this over to Concordia, who works it all the way back to Garcia in the defensive line. Ball knocked ahead. Here's Pointer. Pointer has to meet Clank, and Pointer gets behind Clank. Empty goal for Garrett Pointer, and he pokes it in. CUC 2-0 lead off the error from Ian Clank, and he is standing with his arms up, maybe a little upset about maybe looking for an offsides call. He doesn't get it, and Garrett Pointer takes full advantage of the empty goal and gives CUC a multi-goal lead.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Kuyper's back line just tried to move ahead before Pointer could get to the ball, but it didn't matter. It was too late by then.
Clank trying to make the aggressive play out of the box, and Garrett Pointer, who has very good footwork, was able to really easily just work around Clank and keep the ball in front of him, and all he had to do was guide it into the back of the goal. And CUC, for the first time this season, has scored 2 goals, and for the first time this season, they have a multi-goal lead as they lead 2-0, less than 15 and a half to go here in the first half.
Yeah, CUC taking a commanding lead now. It's interesting. We'll take a look as to how they kind of continue to play the rest of this match now.
As this ball in the corner, Kuyper able to keep it in, but a whistle was blown. As I believe they're saying a whistle on CUC, so Kuyper will either a whistle or was out of bounds. We'll have to see if this will be a throw-in or a free kick. Looking like a throw-in. It will be a throw-in, so they're going to say CUC knocked it out. Throw-in here for Kuyper towards the center of the box, headed away by Yanez. Ball knocked up. As there's the first goal scorer today, Spencer Nicholson, up ahead to the second goal scorer, Garrett Pointer. He leaves it off for Avila. Here goes Xavier Avila, one-on-one with Owens. Avila moves around and puts a shot on goal, and it is blocked as it will go out left of the goal. And it will be another corner for CUC as Clank not able to save that one. It was deflected by his defender and went out. As we're really seeing the CUC offense come alive now. And like me and Dave kind of said, starting to play with a bit more organization now, a bit more concentrated attacks up ahead. Let Garrett Pointer move it forward as this corner kick, maybe a little too hard. It is put towards the goal and wide left as that ball will go all the way out. So goal kick coming up here for Clank and the Kuyper College Cougars. And something, Dave, that Van Gato and I kind of talked about in CUC's home opener where they had a 1-0 lead over Carthage going into half was, you know, especially for a team who went 0-16 last year, for a team who was not in the lead in the majority of the minutes they played, playing with the lead is a very different thing than playing a tied game or a game you're down behind. As obvious as it sounds, it might sound easier to do that, and to some degree it probably is, but it's still a different game when you have that 1-2 goal cushion. And for an experienced team, a team who is, you know, hasn't had a lot of wins the past 2 seasons, it's got to be something that this team learns to be able how to do quickly, is how to protect leads so we don't have another Carthage on our hands here at Concordia Stadium of the Cougars going to the second half up by a goal and then come away with a 3-1 loss.
Yeah, I think the main difference, too, is now they kind of have a couple games under their belt. Not necessarily wins, but a couple more games. Knock out all the jitters from the beginning of the year and then kind of just puts them in a situation where there's a little bit of a collision there. I think the main thing, too, is just kind of making sure you're under control. And don't get too high, don't get too low. Just kind of ride that middle ground, make sure it's all going to be just kind of staying with it the whole time. You still got plenty of soccer left to play.
Another 12-11 to go here in the first half, and then a fresh 45 once halftime is over. So CUC have that nice 2-goal lead right now, but as Dave said, a lot can happen in 57 minutes, especially with a team who's still a relative unknown in Kuyper. Only 1 game played in this iteration of the program. As a centering kick here, and it will be off a black jersey. I believe also getting a piece of it, and getting the last piece of it was Xavier Avila, because it will be a goal kick for Clank. We have less than 11 and a half to go here on Concordia Stadium in the first half. CUC trying to pick up win number 1 of the season and of the Brad Callahan era, as this new look Cougars team has a 2-0 lead over the first-year Kuyper College Cougars. Members of the National Christian Collegiate Athletic Association, Division II. 0-1 on the season are the visiting Cougars. They will be at Aquinas College tomorrow for an exhibition game against that squad's reserve squad, against Aquinas College's reserve team, I should say, and then their next proper game is against Goshen College in Indiana on Saturday. Cougars, meanwhile, right back here at CUC on Friday, taking on Hope College, as they get some home cooking now after a road trip to St. Francis University of St. Francis is here deep in Kuyper's end. That ball is still loose, and Clank comes out. The ball is still loose, and Kuyper gets control of it. Clank, another aggressive play, kind of slid into Garrett Pointer. Luckily, Kuyper able to knock that ball out.
Yeah, it's starting to look like a ton of chaos on that side of the pitch, especially inside the box.
And CUC's done a really good job of creating that chaos, of just maintaining pressure on Kuyper, as Kuyper really hasn't had much offensive pressure ever since CUC got that first goal from Nicholson. Between the CUC goals from Nicholson and Pointer, Avila as well as Garcia picking up assists. And that will be the first collegiate assists for both of those players. Xavier Avila, freshman out of Berwyn, not too far here from River Forest. And then the other assist coming from Garcia, freshman out of Aurora, as I previously mentioned. As he works with the ball, has to get to there first, wins the race between the ball and the near sideline. He puts this one up ahead, and Owens will head that one back. Here's Nicholson trying to slice through the middle of the pitch. Nicholson loses it. Good work there by Bondo, still just being everywhere. Great speed out of the number 11 from Kuyper. And good pickoff there. That was Xavier Avila. Ball rolling towards Xavier Lee from Kuyper, and Avila just came from behind and poked it away back towards his fellow defenders. Here's Ibarra. Lehovitz, far sideline near the scorer's table. And now it's Garcia, Garcia knocks this up ahead towards the corner. It's going to be a foot race to get there. Avila able to save it before it goes out. Now we'll try and center it. Ball's still loose, and Kuyper, along with Montanez, trying to poke it away. And Clink coming out of the goal to make the play, throws it up ahead. Less than 7.5 to go here in the opening half. Cougars, after a long drought to open up the half from both offenses, got 2 quick goals from Spencer Nicholson as well as Garrett Pointer. And now it is Avila. Avila puts it in the corner. Get in there and just not being able to corral the ball. Was his teammate. As Isaac Hernandez not able to keep the ball from going out the back. As now here's Hernandez again, pushes it up ahead for Avila, and Avila, that ball put just too far in front of him, not able to save it from going out. And a throw-in coming up here for Xavier Hernandez and Kuyper. Hernandez's ball bounces over Nicholson and Tarpe, who are entangled. And CUC works it the other way. Nice header there, and ball stopped by Owens. Good foot there by Owens. That ball would have bounced right in front of Garrett Pointer, and he would have had another open look at Clink and the goal. Ball loose in front of the Kuyper box, and now whistle blows on CUC. So free kick will come up here for Kuyper, as there is a Kuyper Cougar down. Clock will stop with 5:30 to go. As wait to see if the referee signals for the training staff on site. As a downed player helped up by Owens and the on-pitch ref. Free kick here. Owens will take it. Good boot there by Owens. That had some distance to it. Cougars head it back towards Kuyper territory, though, as Owens comes shooting forward to try and clean it up, and Kuyper does come away with it. Has to get through a couple of Cougars, as that was a physical play. Pushing down Hernandez for CUC was Terrazas, and he wanted a whistle blown on the Cougars. No luck there. CUC works it back to Garcia. Less than 5 to go here in the opening half. Cougars lead 2-0 against the Kuyper College Cougars. As both these teams looking for their first win of the season and the first win under their current head coaches. As Gudillo up ahead finds Julian Delgado, and now another physical play that between Hernandez and Hernandez, as now on the ground is Isaac Hernandez for CUC. Collision between him and Xavier Hernandez of Kuyper, as the on the pitch ref will call over the training staff. So we're going to take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network while Isaac Hernandez gets checked out by the CUC training staff. And when we come back, 4:21 remains in the opening half of play. CUC a 2-0 lead over Kuyper College. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the rest of this first half for you when we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network. We're back here on the Cougar Sports Network as a free kick from Owens is headed away by CUC. Training staff able to help Isaac Hernandez off the field. As busting through the CUC defense is Bondo, leaves it, and Garcia will try to kick it out, and it takes a couple bounces, and now this ball will be put wide right of the goal off the boot of Eduardo Terrazas. As we have less than 4 minutes to go here in the first half. If you're just joining us, CUC 2-goal lead thanks to a header off a corner from Spencer Nicholson, and then a breakaway attempt by Garrett Pointer got behind everybody, including Kuyper's goalie, and just guided the ball into an empty net. Give his squad a 2-0 lead here in the first half. As this ball put up for Justin Ibarez. Ibarez wrestling with Owens for it. Owens successfully boxing that ball out until it leaves the pitch, so it'll be a goal kick coming up for Clank and his Kuyper College Cougars. As we hit the 3-minute mark left in the first half. CUC would love to get another one here as they've been maintaining pressure all half since they scored that goal, that opening goal by Nicholson. While Kuyper would like to show some signs of life before we hit halftime, as Lehovitz has this one back to CUC, to his own end, to Kuyper's end, excuse me. As Bondo now, far sideline, knocks it up ahead right in front of his bench. Cougars thought it went out. Referee doesn't say so. And now good fight there from Justin Ibarez. As here is Coverman. Leaves it. Here's Avila. Avila works around his defender. Avila puts it towards the goal. Clank, a good save. Ian Clank. Good job playing the angles. Came out past the left pipe and really left Avila no room to work with. As here's a corner kick for CUC. Misses everybody, eventually headed, and this ball put way over the goal. That shot coming off the foot of Jesus Badillo, senior out of Venezuela, one of those 9 or so transfers for CUC.
Yeah, that ball was booted. I think that went not only through the uprights, but I think it went into the street.
Yeah, as we see a couple of game crew members working today's game, walking back to the area, left the pitch to, I think they found it, just landed in the trees right on the CUC side of the fence. At least they found one ball. There might be another one back there too, so very well possible that shot from Badillo made its way onto Division Street. That looked more like a field goal attempt than it did a soccer shot. CUC up ahead now. And a trip there on CUC's number 9, Philip Tocares. Tocares, another transfer to CUC junior out of Bartlett, Illinois. That ball up ahead. CUC able to grab it out of the scuffle as we have 10 seconds left to go here. The countdown has started over the PA system. As CUC, can they get a last second shot here? Tocares racing for it, puts something towards the goal, and I think Klink just got a piece of it. Didn't look like it was going in. I think Klink secured that with a fingertip or two. And either way, the last second shot from Tocares misses the goal, and that will keep the score right where it is. CUC, thanks to Nicholson and Pointer, will take a 2-0 lead into the halftime break, looking for their first win since way back in October of 2020. They got 45 minutes to go. Meanwhile, Kuyper looking for their first win as a revamped program. See what will happen when we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network. 15 minutes for halftime and then second half action. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall. Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane. So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, and most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet. So it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennedy Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall. So the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there. Concordia Hall at Concordia University Chicago.
Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces: a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Welcome back to Concordia Stadium here on the campus of Concordia University, Chicago, as we get set for second half action in the Battle of the Cougars. Concordia University, Chicago leading Kuyper College 2-0. And Dave, it was kind of a story of two halves for CUC in that first half. Majority of that first half, not much going on. The two teams going back and forth, kind of a track meet out there. A lot of offsides call, and then CUC broke through with a corner kick to a Spencer Nicholson header goal, and then they got one shortly after that, got another one off of Garrett Pointer being able to dribble around Ian Klenk and the rest of the Kuyper defense. And ever since that Nicholson goal opened things up, that CUC offense looked vastly different than what we first saw in those first, 25 to 30 minutes of action, 20 to 25 minutes of action in that first half. And what to you, Dave, was really the key to unlocking that offense for CUC?
Yeah, I think some of the main parts that came down to it was CUC kind of had more pressure down there overall, making it a lot easier for them. And then also kind of just once you get that first goal through the net, there's going to be a lot more confidence with it. You start to kind of break down the defense, see what they're working with, what their skills are, and then kind of what they're strategizing. And then you also get to see like what are some of the flaws that you can kind of pick apart. And I think that's kind of what helped them out a ton in the first half.
Well, these two offenses will now have to adjust to a new goalkeeper. CUC making a switch with another freshman. Out is Nathan Gudil. Gudil leaves 45 minutes play, didn't face a single shot on goal. He is in line for the win. Meanwhile, he's being replaced by fellow freshman making his collegiate debut. It is the freshman out of Muskegon, Michigan, at Chase Zizak. 5'11", 165 goalkeeper, now in net for CUC, wearing the same highlighter yellow kit that his fellow freshman Gudil was wearing. And meanwhile, for Kuyper, they are replacing Ian Klink, left with 3 saves on 5 shots faced. And now is another freshman in Ian Ramirez, number 77, wearing the same light blue goalie kit as Klink was. Ramirez made his collegiate debut last game against Earlham, the season opener. 45 minutes, he made 2 saves. So, goalies, kind of an interesting position for both these teams, Dave. Maybe not as so much as Kuyper. It's expected a new program. You have 2 freshman keepers. Coach Kulago is going to take his time to figure out who's maybe going to get the majority of the minutes. But for CUC, you did have a returner in Kyle Schultz. He came in. He played the most minutes last year with 843, had the highest save percentage with the 600 percentage, had the most saves with 72. And Coach Callahan now with 2 freshman goalies on the roster, as well as another goalie in the likes of, Roberto Romero, who has not seen any action in goal in his career. After that season last year, even with Schultz coming back, Coach Callahan showing a willingness to try out these freshman goalies and find out who's really going to be the main man in goal for CUC this year.
Yeah, I think that Callahan's also been blessed with this opportunity of the 2-goal lead, where it kind of gives you a lot more opportunity to experiment with everything and kind of figure out the roster a little bit more, whereas you get a chance to see how these guys are going to perform in the in-game situation, because obviously everyone's going to react different when they're in a game setting as opposed to just the practices outside of that.
So Zizak in goal for CUC now. Ramirez in goal for Kuyper as CUC tries to put this one up ahead. Not able to control it. CUC coming out with a lineup we saw at the end of the first half, but not their starting lineup. Usually after halftime, you'll see a lot of coaches will, especially if they're winning, they'll just put in their starting lineup back in. It was the lineup that got the job done, but CUC still has a bunch of newer faces out there we haven't seen a ton of yet this year, as Coach Callahan trying to work through this whole roster to find out what he has and all the new faces. A couple regulars out there, Spencer Nicholson, of course, the goal scorer, Alexander Lehovitz, one of the minute leaders from last season. So still some familiar faces, but plenty of new for CUC as Coach Callahan, as Dave said, maybe using this 2-goal lead to see what he's got in a lower pressure situation. Yanez will race back to grab that one and knock it towards Zizak, who swiftly kicks it over to fellow freshman Jose Garcia. CUC trying to work it up the far sideline. They lose it there. Kuyper, talked a lot about CUC. Kuyper trying to win their first game since being restarted. Again, the school suspended all athletic activities back in 2014-2015 school year. And this is the first year the men's soccer team is seeing action again. It would be a dramatic first win if it's to come today. A 2-goal deficit with 40.5 minutes to go here in this game. No overtime at this level anymore. You get 2 45-minute halves, and then whatever the score at the end of those 90 minutes is, that is the score for the day. Win, draw, or loss for your team. As the Cougars work it to Jacob Coverman, who moves it up ahead, and now whistle blows. And offside ruled on CUC. First time we've seen offside in quite a while. CUC and Kuyper saw a fair amount of them in the early goings of the game and cleaned it up since then, but CUC gets caught on it there. Boot down to CUC's end of the pitch, and trying to get a foot on it was a Cougar. Coming away with it instead is Eduardo Terrarzes. Terrarzes knocks another Cougar down. That's Coverman, I believe. Hard to see that number, those jersey numbers on the far sideline as this ball will roll all the way back to Zizak. Zizak quickly pressured, so he has to get rid of it. Coverman, a header, going in the wrong direction, however. Here is Terrarzes. Tries to center this one. It's just going to go past everybody as Lehovitz and Ryan Mitchell wrestle for it now. Ball eventually goes out. And a throw-in coming up here for Kuyper. And here's Tokares. Tokares racing ahead. Junior on the CUC team. First year in the maroon and gold. As this ball going to go all the way towards the near far sideline, and an absolute bomb there from Ramirez goes out of bounds. CUC throwing. Yanez now controls it. Works it to the near sideline with Lehovitz. Lehovitz, Nicholson, back to Yanez. Little tic-tac-toe action there as CUC trying to break through the mid-pitch. They send this one up ahead, going towards the corner, and not able to get there in time is Xavier Avila. And we've seen Avila used a lot today, Dave, in that exact circumstance. The freshman out of Berwyn, Cougars like to dump that ball in the corner and just let him go get it. And so far, he's been rewarded with an assist today.
Yeah, kind of just letting the athletes be athletes, let them fly, kind of roam around the field a little bit. It's kind of led to their success overall today, too. You can kind of tell, too, Kuyper's starting to get a little bit more tired, a little less pressure on the ball on every attempt. It's kind of opening things up for CUC, too.
Yeah, as weird as it is to say, especially if you are familiar with what CUC's roster looked like last year, you're not going to run into many teams who have a deeper bench numbers-wise than CUC. Now, if you want to argue about, the quality of that bench, obviously that's a different story since CUC's bench is mostly made up of first-year players. But, again, you've got to give Coach Callahan credit. He went out. He came in with a team last year of, 13 to 14 dudes, which is really nothing in terms of soccer. That's only 2 or 3 subs on a good day on the bench. And, he really worked at this offseason, bringing in numbers, not only quality players, as here's a shot towards goal. Diving save by Ramirez. Good shot there from CUC, and Ramirez, diving effort, gets some hands on it, It will be a corner for CUC, but Ramirez keeping the score at 2-0. This is his first save of the day. But, back to the point of Coach Callahan really building up that bench, and a key part of that is you're not going to be able to really tire this team out just because of how many fresh sets of legs they'll have. As Avia's corner kick is off the top of Tokarz's head and towards the far sideline. CUC still in possession of it. They knock it towards the corner, and that ball knocked out of the shins of Xavier Hernandez. Throwing here. Nicholson working around as CC picks it off. Still deep in the corner for Kuyper, as he'll be a shot and a routine save there for Ian Ramirez, going down on the ground to secure the rebound. Ball left for Magnum Musa as he eventually works it through his other teammates, but they lose it. Here's Jose Garcia. Garcia has been a fixture on this CUC back end defensively. Nicholson up ahead for Lehovitz. Lehovitz slowed down a little bit to get control of the ball, and Kuyper able to take advantage of it. Guarding it on the near sideline was Bondo. As Kuyper and Bondo, you could see him look like he just ran out of steam there. Would have been a nice ball to put ahead for the speedy number 11, but instead, not great placed ball, and then Bondo looked like he just ran out of gas. And this ball will roll safely into the hands of Ramirez. Might have been a dangerous opportunity for CUC, not able to get anything on it, as Musa will knock it up ahead. Ball takes a couple bounces. CUC trying to corral control, as are the Cougars of Kuyper. Here's Lehovitz for Coverman. Ball out. Last touch on CUC. Bit of debate there from the referee, and CUC eventually decided upon to be the last touch. As now we will have a Kuyper sub. Off the field is Sava Marata. And coming on is Isaac Nekpu, starter for this Kuyper team. Heading back onto the field after starting this half on the bench. Villa works it backwards. Here's Garcia and works it near sideline now for Yanez. Julian Yanez leaves it up ahead for Lehovitz. Will he get there in time? He does. Saves it momentarily, but takes himself out of bounds. And now, last touch out by Kuyper. So it all works out. It will be a throw in here for Lehovitz and the Cougars of Concordia. Lehovitz tries to defend. Badillo gets muscled off the ball. No whistle. But they're going to say that Owens dribbled it out. So maybe a ball don't lie there, as Owens was physical to get that ball and then just dribbled it out of bounds. So CUC still ends up with possession. Corner kick here for Jesus Badillo. Badillo, the kick towards the center, headed away by Owens. And Lehovitz took a second to gather it, so he'll just move it back, give his team a chance to reset offensively. Ball up ahead for the Cougars. Centering pass is knocked off the foot of Justin Ibarez. Unable to get control of that pass. Cougars. Tokares, he's falls to the ground. Looks like he just lost his bounce as Bondo would have had a good opportunity, just couldn't stay in bounds. And now we get a whistle. There is a Kuyper player far side sitting on the ground. Clock has stopped, and now the referee will signal for a coach to come on as Colagno will meet his fallen player walking off the pitch. CUC back in action this Friday here versus Hope College. Concordia Stadium will be occupied once again, and they will open up the conference schedule a week from today, September 17th at Rockford, here versus Rockford University. So 2-game home stint to wrap up non-conference play and then begin conference play. And after that Hope game, it will be Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference action all the way until the end of the season. And CUC trying to get win number 1 here on the season and win number 1 under Coach Callahan.
Yeah, the main thing for CUC overall is kind of just, it's all about breaking that barrier of getting in the win column, just kind of setting up how you're going to feel for the rest of the year. Once you get one, it's easier to start stacking them up as you go.
As here's a shot from Coverman, and he nails Tokares in the head. Friendly fire there between CUC players. There's a great shot. Tokares just in the wrong spot. And not only did he prevent a maybe goal for his own team, and a good shot to the head on top of it. No worse for wear is Tokares still on the field. Coach Callahan, hired February of 2023, brings a long history of various roles in the soccer world, was a athletic director at a Catholic high school in Indiana, director of a soccer club, started his own soccer training program, Technical Skills Soccer, has played in semi-professional leagues, of course played collegiately, so Coach Callahan's been all over the map leading up to his time at the helm of the men's soccer team here at CUC, and he is now 29 minutes and some change away from his first win as the head coach of CUC. Ball rolling out. They're saying last touch by the Cougars, so it'll be Owens to throw it in for Kuyper. Excuse me, it'll be a free kick instead. It was a whistle blown on CUC. So free kick here for Owens and Kuyper. As Kuyper, a booming kick there. We've seen him absolutely launch a couple free kicks today. CUC gets control of this one, however, as that ball put back in front of Owens, as that ball will go out. I believe Owens got a head on it. He did. So CUC, a deep throw in. They just immediately lose it. Maybe moving a little too quick there on that throw-in for their own good. Musa moves it near sideline. Here's Bondo. Kick there from Bondo. Headed by Garcia and back towards Yanez. Yanez now over to Garcia. Garcia brings the ball up and will dish it off back to Yanez. CUC getting to the point of the game where the clock becomes their friend. 2-goal lead with less than 27 minutes and 15 seconds to go. So you're going to start wasting that clock down. And you're going to have to make sure you don't give up 2 quick goals here to a Kuyper team who, in the stat sheet, has recorded 0 shots on goal and just 2 shots in general. Clock still running as some CUC subs come on, so that'll waste some valuable clock for Kuyper. CUC, I'm sure, has no problem with it. There's a throw in here from Lehovitz to Yanez. Yanez now moves it back, and a bit of an errant kick as Garcia has to race all the way over to the near side to grab it. And his kick up ahead goes out. So possession here for Kuyper as Garcia gets some coaching from Coach Callahan. As now Kuyper will exchange some players. Off are Musa as well as Nikpu. And making their way onto the pitch is number 22, Emmanuel Besara Quintana, as well as returning to the pitch is number 9, Blessing Tarpe. As CUC trying to get a turnover here, as Kuyper really just hasn't had any good offensive production, though maybe they'll have something here. This ball left ahead, foot race, and good speed there from Julian Delgado to win the, and he kicks it out. It will be a very deep throw-in for Kuyper, nearly a corner kick. But good play there by Delgado, freshman out of Chicago, to just give his defense some time to reset.
Yeah, Kuyper's eventually going to have to start turning it on a little bit more, kind of turn on that aggressive side right here.
As there's a tricky high kick, and going up and making the grab is Zizek. We'll have to see if they officially rule that a save. I believe it will be. That would have gone in the goal if Zizek was not there. And if that is the case, that is Chase Zizek's first career save. As we'll wait for the stat book to update. So we'll have to see if what that goes down for Zizek. Meanwhile, CUC breaking into the Kuyper zone, and whistle blows. Offsides on CUC. And nice sliding play there from Vicente Romero, as he knocks it out, gives his defense a time to catch up the play, as Kuyper was pushing the tempo here. Like Dave said, need to get something going. 2 total shots so far. And nothing of substance for the Kuyper offense, as between CUC's defense and then really their offense, just keeping possession down on Kuyper territory, as what looked like a break there for CUC loses the ball. From here, I believe that is Omar Figueroa. Number 29 in white, way on the far side, and now whistle blows. It will be on Kuyper.
It's starting to look like Kuyper's just starting to run out of gas now, especially with their short bench that they have. With all the subs there, when they are being very careful with their substitutions overall.
Yeah, and I mentioned at the start of this half that CUC had a lot of players from the end of last half, and not necessarily a lot of their quote unquote established players. They're kind of their top guns, and now we are seeing those starter players work their way back into the lineup. Players like Garrett Pointer are back in. Players like Justin Ocampo, who started the game, that he's back in. Figura, Lehovitz. So CUC kind of letting that secondary line of players take over the first of the half, and now as we approach crunch time here, that's when the starters come back in and hopefully lock it down for CUC. As here's a free kick, a header, and into the arms of Ramirez. That was a beautiful chance there from Tocares, and Ramirez right in front of the ball. So good read there from the freshman keep, as Tocares able to get a piece of that corner kick, just not enough to put it past Ramirez. Ball far sideline for CUC, able to control possession still. Over halfway through this second half, as we are approaching the 21-minute mark. CUC 2 goals thanks to Nicholson and Pointer. Assist coming from Avia and Garcia. The header there from Yanez keeps moving backwards. Ball goes out, and you can see Kuyper trying to push the tempo here a little. Not only do they need 2 goals, they just need a shot on goal, period. 2 shots in general, nothing on goal right now. As rushing ahead. And good defense from behind by Yanez. That was on Terrarzes. And physical play from Yanez, but it worked. Now ball up ahead, and wiping himself out was Ibarra, as there's still a Kuyper Cougar, and a shot and goal for CUC. Chaos all over the field, and capitalizing on it is Figura. And that might just be the dagger for the Cougars. Goal number 3 on the afternoon. I was still trying to process the 2 players who completely wiped out. A Kuyper Cougar is still on the turf as the CUC training staff comes out to help. And meanwhile, during all of that, the Cougars find some space down low, and just a shot into the top shelf from Omar Figueroa, waiting for the confirmation. It was his goal. If it is, that's his first collegiate goal.
Yeah, at first it kind of looked like CUC's Ibarra kind of had a tough landing there at one point, kind of
just tied himself up, really.
Yeah, stuck a cleat into the turf a little bit, popped a little weird. But popped up right away, making it look like he was fine, and then kind of stretching it out on his own a little bit after they scored that goal. Hopefully it's nothing too important.
Meanwhile, it was Nekpo for Kuyper, who is now walking under his own power. He has his right cleat off. So again, maybe got stuck, maybe twisted something as he's walking a little gingerly, as he'll just head to the bench instead of the training table. So some chaos, one player down from each squad, and meanwhile CUC able to take advantage, as here is Tocares, wants to add another one, and just past Pointer. Was a beautiful crossing ball from Tocares, just a couple yards ahead of the rushing Garrett Pointer. And you can see Pointer putting his hands on his head. He knew that if he was 1 or 2 steps further up, he would have had an easy chip-in goal there. And instead, Kuyper will get it moving the other way. So the CUC goal is credited to Justin Ocampo. So while not Figura as we thought it was, it is still the first collegiate goal for Ocampo. assist by Vicente Romero. So CUC, no matter who the goal scorer is, get themselves a third goal. And again, that might just be too much to handle for Kuyper, who still is looking for a shot on goal.
CUC kind of just hands them the ball right there and gives them an opportunity as they start pushing it up the way.
Okay, we have another stat correction now. It is Omar Figueroa with the goal, as that has been flipped back to who we originally thought scored it. The assist is still by Vicente Romero. Ocampo wears number 28. Figueroa wears number 29. And again, when you're up here in the booth, a good distance away from the field, especially that far side, it can be hard to see, especially similar numbers like 28, 29. So Figueroa is given the goal, scores the goal, I should say, gives himself the goal. First clear goal for Figueroa, and CUC riding a 3-0 lead right now as Kuyper just, again, it needs something on goal. 2 shots in general, nothing on goal. As there is 17 and a half minutes left to play here. Lehovitz is there to stop an advancing ball. He'll work it back to Zizak. Here comes Kuyper, led by Terrazes, puts it up ahead. Racing for it is Basitia, excuse me, and he loses it out the back of the pitch. Last one to touch it, so Zizak will have a goal kick coming up here. Ball knocked ahead and then quickly knocked back by Bondo. And nice move there. Here's Tocares, quickly runs into 2 defenders. He's just trying to keep it in. He finds Pointer. Pointer centers it. A chest from there and a shot and saved by Ramirez. That was Ibarra trying to get his first goal in the maroon and gold. And good save there by Ramirez. Good effort there by Ibarra just to get that shot off. As here's a shot from Tocares, way too high. Not way too high, yard or so, but too much juice on it. Not enough accuracy, and we are under 60 minutes to go here in today's game.
Yeah, it kind of seems like CUC's just starting to pepper shots on goal now as we get towards the end of this match.
And as Dave mentioned, Kuyper working with a shorter bench. So here's Bondo. Good takeaway, and he's got good speed. One-on-one with the defender. Terrazes leaves it back up for Bondo. Bondo, a shot, and in the goal. It rang off the right pipe and finds the back of the net. What a rocket from Bondo. That was a tough angle, and he just bangs it off the right pipe. First shot on goal today for Kuyper, and it leads to their first goal of the day. So CUC maybe more thankful for that third goal now, Dave, as they can still breathe easy with a 2-goal advantage. If that Figueroa goal does not happen, it will just be a 1-goal lead for CUC. And 1-goal lead, you never know what happens. Like a chance here for Terrazes. Terrazes wins the race to the ball, stops on a dime, leaves it, and here's another shot, and just over the crossbar by a matter of inches off the foot of Isaac Nekpu, and just as it kind of looked like Kuyper was throwing the towel in, CUC was peppering shot after shot. Kuyper with a little bit more juice here in the last third of this half.
Yeah, I think that goal and then that other shot kind of just fired up CUC's defense. They're starting to kind of move a little bit quicker and a little extra pace, a little pep in the step.
Offsides ruled on Terrarzes. Ball was grabbed by Zizek anyways. As CUC gets it moving the other way. Still have a 2-goal advantage. But again, Kuyper with maybe a little bit more pep in their step after showing signs of life with Bondo's goal. Great individual effort from Johnson Bondo. Really created that goal for himself. They did give the assist to Terrarzes. CUC works it in the corner, able to keep it in. Ball will be put towards the goal, and a slow roller easily swallowed up by Ramirez. That was Tocares. As here comes Bondo, the goal scorer for Kuyper, and he knocks down Tocares. No whistle. Refs letting him play here with less than 13 and a half to go. Lehovitz back to Zizak. I think at this point, it really is starting to feel like a war of attrition between these two teams. You can see players looked absolutely gassed as they have just 13 minutes to play. CUC trying to protect the 2-goal lead, and Kuyper with a little bit more energy now after their goal from Bondo. Ball put ahead, and Zizek will scoop it up. Loose ball falls on it, and will waste some additional time off the clock as he rolls it over to Romero. Romero given the assist on the Figueroa goal. That is Romero's first career assist. So day of first for CUC between Figueroa's goal as well as all 3 assist getters today having their first career assist with the Cougars. And Ibarra looked like he had a shot. He instead dribbles it out, gives his offense a chance to really get set. You could hear some fans clamoring for a shot there. As here's Ibarra. He gets tripped up and whistles blow. Free kick for CUC.
CUC kind of taking their time, letting the clock roll just a little bit more, just letting it trickle down.
As the pitch referee also having words with the players forming the wall for Kuyper. CUC, they're not going to complain about that. 2 players sit up by the ball. Who will be taking a free kick? There it goes. Header from Tocares, still going towards the goal. Owen heads it out. Tocares back towards the goal. Here's Pointer. Pointer shot off the crossbar of the field goal. So it'll be considered out of bounds if the ball hits any part of the football field goal, even if it stays in play. Still ruled out of bounds because, a perfect soccer field would not have the field goals right above the goal, but obviously the multi-use field here at CUC, that is the case. So hits the field goal, it is considered out of bounds. Ball put up ahead. Bondo not able to get there in time. He's the lone goal scorer for Kuyper. Bondo now maybe thinking about number 2, but good turnover forced by CUC's defense. Here's Tocares. Lehovitz up. And good poke there by Tocares to keep it going momentarily. Kuyper gets control back. Owens tries to put it ahead. Has to fight to keep it moving. Bondo now near sideline. Off the back of Julian Delgado. Here is Ocampo. Ocampo up ahead to Pointer. Pointer making sure to remain on side. Garrett Pointer gets around to Owens. Garrett Pointer one-on-one with the goalie, puts it, and Owens gets a piece of it. Ball's still loose. Where is the ball? It's in the hands of Ramirez. I think Kuyper got more shots on their own goal there than Garrett Pointer did, and somehow it still remains out. I think Pointer's original shot hit Owens. There's a deflection off a Kuyper player that hit the pipe, I think. So a crazy series of events, and somehow the ball stays out of the net as now a whistle blows. That was Becerra Quintana going over the top of Vicente Romero. So Romero with a free kick here. Free kick, curves, header by Owens. Tough to get above Owens for a header when he stands at 6'7". Less than 9 minutes to go. Here's Lehovitz to Romero. Romero for Ibarra. Cougars trying to play keep away, and they're going to play keep away as they send it all the way back to Zizak. Moves it up ahead to Juan Moresco. One of the new faces for CUC is a junior, and offsides on the Cougars. Eight minutes to go here at Concordia Stadium. Cougars facing off with the Cougars. It's the CUC variety in the lead right now, 3-1. Kuyper, however, putting up a fight here at the end of the game, making things interesting. Ocampo dribbles away. Here is Tocares. Tocares puts it in towards the corner. Leaves it for Giovanni Lachuga. Pointer tried to poke it ahead, finds no one. Pointer now revs up for a shot, and I believe that hit a Kuyper Cougar. It did, as the referee points towards the corner flag. So, corner kick here for CUC. 7:12 to go in the game. It will be Romero. Vicente Romero, the corner kick. And there is Owens again. Just too tall for anyone to get above. As this ball is moving back. There is Tarpe trying to get control of it. Marasco pokes it away. Reaching into the cookie jar, gets the steal. And now whistles blow. As it is Owens, who is down on all fours right now. So that'll stop the clock. As the on-pitch ref checking on him. And now back on his feet is Owens. And that will force Kuyper to get a sub here.
Yeah, Owens subbing out is going to be nothing but bad news for Kuyper right there. He's been kind of in on every play. Anytime you need a big spot, there's their big man right there standing at 6'7". He's making a lot of plays out there.
Yeah, especially those corners. He, again, being 6'7", it's hard for anybody to get above him on corner kicks to try and head that one. I guess you could say on the positive side that if everything goes well for Kuyper, they won't need him on defense because they still need 2 goals here with less than 7 minutes to go. So if they want to actually tie this one up, they're basically going to have to spend the final 6:46 of this game on the offensive end of the pitch. Right now, 4 shots total, 1 on goal, and it was a goal for Bondo. As here's Tokares. Tokares racing around the defense. He gets tripped up, and no whistle from the refs. Would have been a penalty kick, as that was in the box. So Kuyper maybe getting away with one there. They got to get it moving the other way. And instead they turn it over, and they get it right back. Here is Nekpo on the way, far sideline for Barty. Barty, he takes out a Cougar on the way and loses it out the back of the pitch, and it will be a goal kick for Zizek and the Cougars. Less than 6 to go here as Zizek's goal kick is off. Kuyper wrestles control away from CUC. They put this one back towards CUC's end, but Ocampo's there. Here comes Ocampo. Ocampo up ahead. It's a race for it. Pointer looks like he's going to win it. Puts it towards the goal. Is it enough? Just wide left. Ramirez racing out, and Pointer just skipping that over Ramirez. Not accurate enough. It goes just wide left, and CUC still only up by 2.
Yeah, the Kuyper keeper just came up blazing out of the box right there, trying to make a play, and just very risky play right there, especially with 5 minutes remaining.
Ball works its way all the way back to Zizek. CUC careful with the ball. They know at this point all you need is control. Last thing you want to do is give Kuyper any kind of look here, as Owens back on the pitch for Kuyper. So a short brief on the bench for Kuyper's captain, and you hope if you're a Kuyper fan that just shores up their defensive end and make sure that this 2-goal deficit stays at 2 goals, and just hope your offense can get something going here. They've looked better since the Bondo goal. Still no shots on goal after Bondo's, as he is the Kuyper Cougar with the ball right now. Throws it in. Here's Hernandez. Hernandez down. The ball works its way over everyone's head, and getting just enough on it to poke it out was Moresco, as that was more of a boot out, as that ball went over the fence here at Concordia Stadium, meeting the fence at the baseball field. Throw in from Owens. And ball in the box. It'll be rolling out far sideline. Last touch by CUC. So Owens another throw in. 3:15 to go. Kuyper basically needs a goal here if they want any chance of getting 2. Throw in. A strong throw in from Owens, and headed away there by LaHope. Back by Hernandez of Kuyper. This ball spent some serious time up in the air. Still up in the air, as no one's able to really get control of it. And here come the Kuyper Cougars. Might have something here with Barty. Barty's shot way too high, as that one will make its way on the division street. Don't see any careening cars, so I think it made its way safely across. That ball had a lot of juice on it off the foot of Christian Barty.
Yeah, the more you watch the Kuyper Cougs, you start to see that there's just unlimited ability. Just got to kind of control it overall. They got a ton of speed, ton of power. Just kind of develop the strategic side a little bit better. Kind of hone in on the abilities, and I think they'll be in a much better spot down the road.
Yeah, and that might have been Kuyper's best chance at a goal here, if Barty was able to put that one on net, as the ball from across Division Street has worked its way back onto the track. So good Samaritan out there throwing it back over the fence. So CUC will not be down a soccer ball after today's game, but they might be up in the win column as now tripped over is Takares. Draws a whistle. We get a stoppage of the clock, 1:25, and a yellow card issued. First yellow card today, and that has been one of the major differences today between CUC's last two games is just the discipline on both ends of the pitch. Season opener against Carthage, 10 total yellow cards issued, 6 against CUC. There's also a red card issued against Jose Garcia of the Cougars. And then this past Saturday, 8 total yellow cards issued against Saints in the St. Francis game, 4 for either team as Ramirez goes up to knock that down. CUC controls it in the corner now as some fancy footwork there. CUC still has possession as that is Figueroa again, and this ball will go out the back of the pitch. Last touch by CUC. So, again, discipline is one of the hardest things to get a young team to do, especially a team with so many freshmen. And we are seeing the noticeable difference today of, 6 against Carthage, 4 against St. Francis, and now 0 so far today. And that difference is being reflected on the scoreboard as well. As we have half a minute to go here. And here's a ball up ahead for Montanez. Montanez tries to center and it's booted out by Monesco. And this is going to be pretty much it. Kuyper will get the throw-in in. They have less than 20 seconds to make some magic happen. Montanez finds Bondo. Bondo now, as we are under 10 seconds away. CUC controls it, and they are just going to launch this one down. And for the first time since 2022, CUC men's soccer picks up a big win, and they get their first win of the season, first win of the Coach Callahan era. A 3-1 victory over Kuyper College. So CUC has not won since October 19th of 2022. They welcome the Kuyper College Cougars, Battle of the Cougars, to River Forest. And CUC, just a complete game effort, offensively, defensively, and they pull away with the 3-1 win. Let's get a look at some of the final statistics from today's game. CUC getting their first goal of the day from Spencer Nicholson, assisted by Xavier Villa. They then picked up another goal from Garrett Pointer. The eventual game-winning goal, that was assisted by Jose Garcia. And then the third goal of the day for CUC, scored by Omar Figueroa, assisted by Vicente Romero. And then Kuyper getting one back late into the game from Johnson Bondo, assisted by Eduardo Terrarzes. In terms of other statistics, shots, CUC outworking Kuyper 21-5. Shots on goal 10-1 in favor of the Cougars. Saves, Kuyper with 7 between Klenk and the goalie in relief Ramirez. CUC not picking up any saves on the day, though the defense made sure they didn't need to do that. Fouls 8-6, CUC with more. Corners, CUC 8, Kuyper 0, and offsides, CUC 6 to Kuyper's 2. So that'll do it here from Concordia Stadium. Dave, Cougars picking up their first win in almost 2 years. Coach Callahan gets his first win of his tenure here as head coach. Let's get your final thoughts on what can be a really big game moving forward for Coach Callahan and these Cougars.
Yeah, it kind of feels like just a huge weight lifted off their shoulders, finally getting in the score column. Really going to help the cause down the road as they plan on racking up a whole lot more wins, especially once we get in action overall. Conference play is going to be a big deal, as Coach Callahan said earlier last week about naming the games, just getting to the tournament and then hopefully kind of battling through that and winning the conference.
Well, CUC back at it on Friday, welcoming Hope College to Concordia Stadium. But that'll do it for today's broadcast of the game. I want to say thanks to everybody making this production possible. We had Tyler Dorsch helping out with subs down at the field, Ashley Schroll working the stats in the other box, other scores box up here in the bleachers, the producing, Jessica Gang and Alan Mateo. Liam Cameron and Abby Kulig were working cameras, and then, of course, I was joined by Dave Dimeling all day. We were under the direction of our graduate assistant, Sydney Lloyd, our assistant sports information director, Corey Welch, and then our sports information director, Kayla McLeod. But don't go anywhere just yet. We will have a post-game interview with Coach Brad Callahan after his first win here at CUC. That'll be coming up shortly on the Cougar Sports Network. One more time, CUC takes down Kuyper 3-1, but don't go anywhere just yet. Post-game interview with Coach Callahan coming up shortly. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Peter Borkowski here, and I'm joined by head coach of the CUC men's soccer team, Coach Callahan. Congrats, Coach. 3-1 win over Kuyper, your first win here at CUC. And let's just start that. I'm sure that has to feel good to get off your chest. It's been a long year plus for you since you got here. We saw what happened last year, and to come in here on your home turf and get that first win this season, get your first win here as head coach, that just has to feel good for you and your squad right now.
Yeah, I think it feels great. Builds confidence going forward, getting that weight off our shoulders. I think we played well today. Definitely some things to improve upon that we'll talk more about. But, to get the first one feels good.
Definitely. And I want to focus on the offense right now because we saw the first half of that first half. It kind of took a while to get things going. We saw a lot of offsides calls, and then ever since Nicholson scored that first goal, it looked like you guys are just completing a completely different game of offense. You were good pressure on Kuyper's goal. So maybe talk about what was happening on the offensive end that led to those 3 goals and led to that success throughout the game.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just keeping the ball, playing the smart option. I think we were dribbling too much, to be honest, getting the ball ripped off our foot. So I think getting our head up, playing quick. We have a lot of good players to play to. We don't need to force anything. So I would say that's a key thing, is not forcing it. A lot of times we're turning into pressure or trying to take a guy on when there's an open person to pass to. So I think just getting in the habit of doing that habitually is going to be a key thing moving forward. And that's what I talked to the guys about, is I was saying, hey, we don't need to force things going forward. We should possess it more. Be a little more patient and let it happen naturally.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. And to close out here, you guys are back in action right here at Concordia Stadium on Friday, hosting Hope College. How do you keep the momentum going? You got that first win of the season now. How do you take care of this last non-conference game against Hope and give you as much momentum as you can get heading into that conference play next week?
I mean, Hope's a really good team. They're a great team, so that'll be a great challenge for us and, prepare us to get in the conference. I think a big thing I'm looking at is just the consistency of the guys. I think a lot of the guys are capable of doing great things, but it's just the consistency. And, once in a while, it's just, an off-touch here, a bad pass there. It has that, I was talking about, it has that compounding effect. And so the more we can get our head up, play quick, like I'm talking about, and just avoid those mistakes, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing going forward is consistency. Being able to do it, getting used to it, and then just getting in the habits of, for example, like a winger opening up wide in transition.
Right.
Sometimes, and like you'd mentioned the offsides calls. It's like that's at a point where we can't, it kills the whole offensive momentum.
Right.
Where that could be a goal, but if we don't turn our head and watch our line, just that one turn of the head can make all the difference. So I think just cleaning up those little things and being consistent with those little things moving forward will be a big thing.
Definitely. Well, Coach, congrats, 3-1 win here over Kuyper today. Cougars improved to 1-2 on the season, and they'll be back in action this Friday hosting Hope College here at CUC, 3 p.m. start time for that game. Coverage, of course, can be found at our website, cucougars.com. Coach Callahan, again, congrats on the win, and thanks for joining me here. Good luck on Friday. But until then, this is Peter Borkowski signing off of the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always, go Cougars!
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.